as I understand it, I mean, there's the dictionary definition of it, which tells us that it's violence. It can be physical, emotional, psychological violence that is perpetrated laterally. So generally, violence is perpetrated by somebody who has power over somebody who has lesser power. So in a military state, for example, it might be the military police that have power over the populace, and so it's sort of a top-down violence. Lateral violence, it appears to come out of sort of systems of oppression. So in marginalized and colonized groups, because we exist in that hierarchical system, but we do experience quite a significant level of oppression. It's dangerous for us to lash out or retaliate against those systems of power. And so instead of lashing out at those systems of power, because the force coming back could be triple, quadruple, whatever, we could lose our lives, we lash out laterally into those places that are safe. So usually it's family, loved ones, ironically, community. And so in some of our marginalized groups, and I think that lateral violence can also come out of poverty, any sort of social context where there's real systemic and institutionalized oppression and barriers that breed frustration and anger and resentment. Any environment like that is a breeding ground for lateral violence, and it's where people, the colonized, tend to attack each other, lash out at each other. And Bell Hooks said that we know that colonization has been effective when we see lateral violence being perpetrated, because then what happens is the people who have been colonized, or the people who have been oppressed, are then harming each other. And so the people in power, the military state or the colonizer, can step back and they don't have to do anything because we're perpetrating that violence internally. And so that's lateral violence. Now violence too, I kind of like Gandhi's sort of conceptualization of violence, because violence isn't just a fist or a rifle, or bombs. Violence can also be psychological violence, interpersonal violence. It can be how we use our words, and we can even have violent thoughts. So the appearance isn't necessarily a violent one, but violence can be perpetrated in terms of how we communicate with the people around us and the people that we care about, our families, our communities.